After months, honestly, maybe even years, of building up the courage, I booked an appointment with a sex worker the other night. It's completely legal where I live, and I'd been thinking about it for so long that it started consuming me. I just wanted to get it over with, stop overthinking every little thing, and finally experience what everyone else seemed to already know about. I'm not going to lie, I was nervous as hell, like sweating through my shirt, heart pounding in my chest, kind of nervous. I must have reread her profile like 50 times before I finally hit that booking button. She worked for this really high-end, reputable agency, the kind where the reviews are glowing and everyone talks about professionalism and discretion. I figured if I was going to do this, I should at least do it right. But here's the thing, I wasn't prepared for how real it would feel. She opened the door, and immediately I could tell she was different from what I'd imagined. She was older than me, around 30, beautiful in this effortless way that made me feel both nervous and strangely at ease. She smiled, not that fake customer service smile, but something warm and genuine, and invited me in like I was an old friend stopping by for coffee. We talked first, just talked. She asked me questions about myself, laughed at my terrible jokes, and made me feel like I wasn't this awkward, anxious mess walking into a situation I had no idea how to navigate. I don't know if it was part of her technique or just who she is as a person, but it worked. My shoulders relaxed, my breathing steadied. For the first time in hours, I felt like maybe this wasn't going to be a disaster. Then things shifted. She moved closer, touched my arm, looked at me in this way that made my brain completely short-circuit. And then we were kissing. I thought it would be mechanical, transactional, like checking items off a list. But it wasn't like that at all. We made out for what felt like forever, and it was passionate and slow and, God, it felt real. Her hands were in my hair, mine were on her waist, and for those moments, I completely forgot that this was a transaction. I forgot that I was paying for this. It just felt like two people who wanted each other. When we finally had sex, she was so into it. Or at least, she made it seem that way. She was vocal, responsive, passionate in a way I'd only ever seen in movies, or imagined late at night when I couldn't sleep. I kept waiting for reality to crash back in, for that moment where I'd remember this was all an act, but it never came. I lasted way longer than I expected to, about 25 minutes, which shocked the hell out of me considering how nervous I'd been. When it was over, and we were both catching our breath, I told her it was my first time. I don't know why I said it. Maybe I wanted her to know, wanted some kind of validation that I hadn't been terrible. She pulled back and looked at me with this expression I still can't quite read. Surprise, maybe? Or disbelief. She said, "Wait, seriously? That was your first time?" And when I nodded, she just smiled and said, "You did amazing." Then we laid there. Just laid there in bed, tangled up in sheets, and talked. Real conversation. About life, about dreams, about stupid random things that made us both laugh. She told me stories about places she'd traveled, and I told her about my job and how much I hated it. It felt intimate in a way that had nothing to do with sex, like we were just two people existing in the same space, comfortable with each other. When my time was up, I got dressed, thanked her, awkwardly because what do you even say, and left. I walked back to my car feeling like I was floating. This huge weight I'd been carrying for years, the anxiety, the shame, the constant overthinking, felt like it had finally been lifted. I felt good, confident even, like maybe I wasn't as broken or undateable as I'd convinced myself I was. But now I feel like absolute shit. It's been a few days, and I can't stop thinking about her. Not just about the sex, though, yeah, that too, but about her. The way she laughed, the way she looked at me, the way she made me feel like I mattered, even if it was just for an hour. I know it was her job. I know that. I paid her to make me feel special, to give me an experience, and she delivered exactly what I paid for. She's a professional, probably one of the best, and everything she did was calculated to make clients like me feel exactly the way I'm feeling right now. I know all of this logically, but emotionally, I'm a mess. Part of me keeps replaying every moment, analyzing every word she said, every look she gave me, wondering if any of it was real. Did she actually enjoy herself? Was she actually surprised I was a virgin? Did she think about me after I left, or did she immediately forget I existed the second the door closed? And that's the part that's killing me. I'm getting attached to someone I'll probably never see again. Someone who was literally just doing her job, no matter how authentic it felt in the moment. The worst part is this creeping, suffocating feeling that no one will ever care for me like that for real. That level of attention, that intimacy, that feeling of being wanted. It felt so incredible, and now I'm terrified I'll never experience it authentically. What if the only way I ever feel desired is if I pay for it? What if no one ever chooses me just because they want to? I don't regret doing it. I really don't. She was an amazing person. Kind, patient, skilled at what she does, and I'm genuinely glad I finally took that step. That weight is off my shoulders, and I proved to myself that I could do it. But man, I feel so alone right now. More alone than I did before, somehow, because now I know what I'm missing. Now I know what connection feels like, even if it was manufactured. I keep catching myself wanting to book another appointment. Not even for the sex necessarily, but just to feel that way again. To have someone look at me like that, touch me like that, make me feel like I'm not invisible. And I know that's dangerous. I know I'm setting myself up for something unhealthy if I can't get this under control. I need to figure out how to emotionally detach from this before it spirals. Before I become that guy who falls for someone who's just doing their job. Before I convince myself there was something real there, when deep down I know there probably wasn't. But right now, in this moment, I just can't stop thinking about her, and I don't know what to do with that.